mental well-being of athletes is back in focus following news that Bafana Bafana and Burnley striker Lyle Foster is struggling with his own mental health issues. The 23-year-old has taken some time away from the game of football to take care of himself with the help of his English Premier League club. Foster has been quoted as saying he feels lonely out in England, where he has been playing since January this year. Joining me now to discuss the well-being of athletes like Foster is sports psychologist Dr Koketjo Tsebe. A very good morning to you, Doc, and thank you so much for your time. He's 23 years old. He's been playing in Europe since, I think, his teens already, has Lyle Foster. And right now, he's actually playing some of his best football, even though he's played for the likes of AS Monaco, he's been in Belgium and the likes. What would be the reason why now he's struggling with mental health issues when everything is going right for him at club level and he is our leading striker in the national team?
All right. Morning to you, Morena, and to the viewers. Interesting development of the case, and we wish our beloved player all the best and speedy recovery. Well, Morena, I want us to provide context into the discussion at hand by considering the developmental psychology point of view in terms of why now. And like you said, he's been playing abroad from the adolescence into transitioning into the early adulthood, which is a very important phase of life, because in early adulthood, individuals make most important life decisions such as career choice and also formation of intimate relationships that can be developing your own family, or also being close and relating better to the next person that is a partner. So in this case, difficulties around forming a desirable and stable relationship can result in one having feelings of alienation and isolation. So bringing it closer to the football performance is that, like I said, to most players, it's a desire, it's a dream come true to play internationally, but however, it comes with its own consequences. Which can be noted difficulties that are informed on the pitch. There's demands to, this is high performance football, which comes with its own expectation and demands. And there's little room that is left on the mental well-being and the self-care, because remember, it's results driven. You need to perform. You need to make sure that you're in the good books of the coach. You need to do well. And like I said, one then does not really have much time to focus on their self-care and mental health well-being.
From your experience, Doc, do you find that especially in this country, there is not a lot of attention put on developing strong mental health in athletes from grassroots level? You know, we talk a lot about grassroots development and youth development in sport, but we talk about it for the on-field matters, but we don't speak about it much, I think, with off-field matters, where you speak about that, you know, the development from pre-teen to teen, from teen to adolescence, adolescence to young adult to full-blown adult. There is usually a gap that is left between all of those stages in life. Do you feel in this country, from a sporting point of view, we don't pay enough attention to the player and the athlete's mental health?
I definitely agree with you, Morena. Little attention is placed on development and developmental phases up until elite performance. I think little attention is placed actually or usually at high performance, and it's on referral basis, maybe if there's a crisis, not as an integrated discipline that assists athletes when they move from one phase of performance, in this case from recreational performance, and transitioning, also continuing the support actually when one goes to playing for elite performance. So little attention is placed. It's actually more into a crisis-driven approach. When there's a crisis, and then we become more reactive to say, okay, let's seek the intervention of a psychologist. So there's a huge gap at this point.
You know, I look at someone like a Nkosi, who in 2019 was one of the stars of the Springboks. He won the Rugby World Cup. He was part of that team. And then after that, dare I say it, everything fell apart for him. You know, he somewhat, you know, by no fault of his own, I think it's fair to say, lost his way. And he's now starting to try and recover and come back to the Nkosi that the world came to know. Does success also become a bit of a contributing factor to the deterioration of mental health? Does being at the top of the world become overwhelming?
It does, Morena. It comes with its own demands and expectations coming from the society and primarily from the team as well, to say you need to perform. And I think ordinarily at times people as their way of coping, more attention it will be to make sure that you're perfect, to make sure that you give the desired results, and to make sure that you stay on top of the game. And it's important to also highlight that peak performance comes with its own stresses because it's high pressure, comes with a level of anxiety and stress. And whichever difficulties that one might experience, they put them aside because this is a result-driven approach. A failed fraternity, you need to make sure that you do well, and then you put your individual needs aside. However, Morena, the catch is you're a human being. At some point, you're a human being, you're an athlete. At some point, it catches up with you. Maybe it's an emotional clutter. It created a lot of baggage, backlog that is unresolved, and it catches up with you. It gets triggered by different events in life, and it triggers that, and you reflect, you look back to say that actually I've neglected my emotional needs. I had difficulties as an athlete. However, somehow I developed a coping mechanism by adopting maybe different defense mechanism to push them approach and focus on the task at hand. Because also we need to also consider, Morena, that football is a short career. And at times that's why you find footballers would rather focus on the performance side of it to say, I need to push, I had to generate income, I need to get bonuses, and these emotional needs, I'll catch up with them later. However, it becomes difficult because they come unprepared, they really invite you, and they come unexpected. They don't tell you rather that it's time. It comes at unexpectedly, and as a result, it can result in athletes experiencing mental health conditions.
You know, the conversation is bringing to light, to me at least, that you guys don't get consulted enough by sports federations, by, athletes, agents, people that know better. Some of these athletes are coming from, disenfranchised backgrounds. They don't know even the term mental health. They don't know that they need to look after, their emotional, physical, psychological health as well, because, that was never a thing. It has always been kind of thing, so some people have grown up with this for far too long for them to now start unpacking it at this age, whereas they've got agents that know that this is important. They've got federations and clubs and national teams that know that this is something that exists, the mental health of an athlete. Do you guys get consulted enough? And if not, how do you go about making sure that your expertise are shared with these people that don't know better?
Morena, it's on occasional basis. I do know that I sit in the committee of SASCOC, High Performance Psychology. SASCOC actually adopted that teams have to travel with mental health practitioners. And I was with Banyana. I do know that SAFA also advocate for that. However, this is based on personal experience, of course, Morena. I have to acknowledge that, which might be subjective. But from a general point of view, it's still slow-paced. But also as academics, as practitioners, we also have a role to play. We can't put it one side, to reach out, to educate professional teams, and also not only professional teams, different sporting teams, about how important the role of mental health is. But we cannot only do it alone, Morena. Remember also, it's a partnership, it's a collaboration to say, in this case, how do we go on about to initiate, to develop and maintain mental health strategies?
Well, we can only but hope that we, as the media, do continue to play our part in ensuring that such messages from you, Dr. Koketjo, are put out there so that athletes know, that it's not substances that will help them deal with their mental health issues, that it's the likes of you, doctor, that can make sure that they confront these matters and that they deal with them definitely. But we can only but hope that this is the beginning of many athletes that can come forward and confront their issues, such as Lyle Foster and Nkosi have done.